Hello friends, I am Dr. Giriraj Sharma, consultant neonatologist at Vatsalya Shishu Hospital, Ajmer. And today we will discuss ventilator associated pneumonia and VAP prevention bundles. So what is VAP? VAP is ventilator associated pneumonia. So it is a type of hospital acquired infection. So first we will discuss what are the criteria for diagnosis of VAP. So we will discuss CDC criteria for diagnosis of VAP. So baby should be intubated for at least 48 hours. And after that, three criteria are there. First is radiological criteria, second is clinical criteria, and third is microbiological criteria. So in radiological criteria, in chest X-ray, baby should have some new infiltrates or progressive infiltrates or consolidation. Second, clinical criteria, baby should have at least three of like change in secretions, consistency and increased amount of secretions. Previously secretions were thin and white color, now secretions has become thick and yellow color secretions. So change in secretions, amount and consistency both. Temperature instability, baby is having hyperthermia or hypothermia. Baby is having tachycardia or bradycardia. Baby is having increased distress, retractions and tachypnea. Baby is having increased FiO2 requirement. Baby is having increased CO2 in blood gas. So these are the criteria: increased ventilator settings, increased FiO2 and increase in distress, FiO2 increment and CO2 increment in. So at least three of that should be there in clinical criteria. Then coming to microbiological criteria. So microbiological criteria, at one of the three should be there. Either blood culture is positive, or pleural fluid culture is positive, or tracheal aspirate or bronchoalveolar lavage culture is positive. Okay. So bronchoalveolar lavage positive means it should be quantitative culture. Quantitative culture means colony count should be mentioned. So colony count should be at least 10 raised to power 5. Okay, like in urine culture, it should be at least 10 raised to power 5. Otherwise, if low colony count, that can be colonization also. So either of this culture it should be positive. So if these three criteria are fulfilling, then we can call it ventilator associated pneumonia. Okay. Now coming to the VAP prevention bundles, that is very important in NICU. If any baby is on ventilator, so prevention of VAP is very important. So in VAP prevention bundles, first is always hand hygiene. Any type hospital acquired infection, hand hygiene is very important to prevent that infection. We have discussed in many videos, so we will not go in detail, but when we should do hand hygiene: before touching the patient, after touching the patient, after touching the patient's surroundings, before any procedure, or after any exposure to any body fluid. Okay, so these are the moments we should do hand hygiene. Second is coming to intubation. So before intubation, we should do all sterile precautions, like wear the sterile gloves, cap, mask. Okay. Then use all the equipment should be sterile, like ambu bag should be sterile. It should be ETO should be done. That laryngoscope should be sterile. We should use new ET and pack ET. It is sterile. So all equipments are sterile, and we have put the sterile gloves. Then do oral suctioning, because in oropharyngeal secretions that are contaminated with many bacteria, if we are putting with secretion, that secretion will go inside and that can create VAP. So first do oral suction, and then we should intubate the baby with all sterile precautions. Okay. Now baby is intubated. Now baby is on ventilator. Second point comes the most important is endotracheal tube care, ET care. So in ET care, what we should do? First is most important is suctioning. So in suctioning, when we should do suctioning? So we should do suctioning only when it is required. When we should not do any unnecessary suctioning or any routine suctioning like 4-hourly, 6-hourly suctioning are not recommended. We should do only it is required. When your baby is having secretions, when graphics is showing tube block, or baby is having increased stress asynchrony, then only we should do suctioning. Suctioning we should do with all sterile precautions. We should wear the sterile gloves, or we can wear the sterile hand cares are available. The polythene hand care that are also sterile. We can use that also. And then we should use or always use new catheter for every suctioning. We should do separate. We should use separate suction catheter for oral and ET secretions. Okay. So for suctioning, at least 2 persons are required. So one person will disconnect the circuit, and that person will do umbu bagging, and second person who is wearing the sterile gloves will insert the suction catheter and he will do the suctioning. So 2 persons are required for doing proper suctioning with all aseptic precautions. Okay. So this is about suctioning. The oropharyngeal suctioning also will do if pooling of secretions are there. That we should do oral suctioning also, because if oral pooling of secretions are there, that secretions will go around the ET and it will trickle down in the trachea and it will create the web, because these oropharyngeal secretions are contaminated, that will create the web. So oropharyngeal suctioning also we should do if it is required. Okay. Coming to, this was the ET care. One more point is there, closed suctioning or open suctioning. Some inline suctions are available, but in neonates studies have shown that inline suctioning or closed suctioning is not helpful in preventing web. So we can do open suctioning also. If we are using closed suctioning, that closed suction should be changed in every 72 hours. Okay, that is. Then coming to circuit care. In circuit care, what we should do? So we should not touch the circuit also without hand hygiene. We should not touch the humidifier without hand hygiene. Any circuit, any ET, any equipment should not touch without hand hygiene. Humidification should be proper in the circuit. Temperature should be 37 degrees Celsius. Humidifier temperature should be 37 degrees Celsius. That water levels should be up to the mark. That distilled water bottle should be automatic filling. Automatic filling should be there. This is the tubing for automatic filling. Here, this is the distilled water bottle. So it will fill automatically when it is required. Otherwise, what if we are disconnecting frequently this circuit for filling the distilled water, that increases the risk of web. So we should not disconnect the circuit. It should be the closed system. Closed system should be maintained, and this distilled water should be filled automatically. In circuit, in the inspiratory limbs, there should be not be any condensation. You can see that blue color is the inspiratory limb. In inspiratory limbs should not be any condensation. You can see there is no condensation in the inspiratory limb. In inspiratory limb, if condensation is there, that will increase the risk of the web. In expiratory limb, condensation can be there. Here water trap is there, it will collect in the water. But in inspiratory limb, there should not be any condensation. If condensation is there, means your humidifier is not working properly. So this is about circuit care. Then third point comes about the positioning of the baby. So for positioning of baby, we can keep the head end elevated by 30 degree. 30 degree we can keep head end elevated. That will prevent the micro aspirations or gastric content aspiration for the baby, because babies will have GER and head end elevation decreases the risk of GER. Second, if any baby is having frequent GER, that baby we can keep in left lateral position also, because left lateral position will decrease the risk of GER. Okay, so this also will prevent the risk of ventilator associated pneumonia. Second and most important, that ET tube should be parallel to the bed. Many centers I have seen that they will keep like vertical to the bed. Like this, they will keep. If you are keeping in vertical, that what will happen, that condensation will trickle down to the ET inside, secretions will go into ET, and that will create the web. So ET should be parallel to the bed. Baby's head is turned toward one side and ET is parallel to the bed. In this, clearing of secretions are better. Oral secretions also will be cleared, and any condensation if it is there in the ET or circuit, that will not go to the inside the baby. So that will prevent the risk of web. So this is about the positioning of the baby and positioning of the ET tube and the circuit. Now coming to the adjustment of the tube. If tube position is not correct, then we have to adjust the tube. That before adjusting tube, we should do suctioning of the oropharynx, because during adjustment also that secretions will go inside. That is very important. So in fixing, we should fix appropriately, and already we should fix like that. We should not do adjusting, because during adjustment secretions will go inside. That will increase the risk of web. Before that we should do suctioning. If it is more deep, we can withdraw the ET tube, but if we have to push down, that will increase the risk of web. So this is about adjusting the tube. Then about the extubation. So this should be fixed properly. Dynaplast should be fixed properly. If it is loose, it is loose, then we should fix it properly, because if we should prevent the accidental extubation or self extubation, because if baby is extubated accidentally, we have to re-intubate the baby. So re-intubation is having higher risk for web. So we should prevent the accidental extubation. That is very important. Then on daily rounds or evening daily, we should assess baby for extubation, and we should extubate baby as early as possible, and we should put the baby on non-invasive ventilation, because prolonged ventilation also is the highest risk factor for ventilator associated pneumonia. So we should avoid the prolonged ventilation also. We should avoid the re-intubation also. So we have to balance both the things. We should extubate baby early also, and we should not re-intubate also. So we should extubate when baby is ready. When we are confident baby is ready for extubation, then only we should extubate the baby. Before extubation, always do oral suctioning, because after extubation, if baby is having some deep inspiration, that secretions will go inside trachea, and that will cause web. After extubation also can cause web. If we can put baby on NIPPV, CPAP or HFNC. So practice more of the non-invasive ventilation, and give invasive ventilation when it is really indicated. Okay, so we'll discuss in separate video when we should do invasive ventilation, what are the indications, when should be extubated. Next point is enteral feeding. So every baby we should start enteral feeding as early as possible. We should avoid the prolonged total parenteral nutrition, because that increases risk of web. So we should start early feeding. If baby is hemodynamically stable, if baby is oxygenation is proper, there is no acidosis, then ventilation is not a contraindication for the OG feeding. So we can put the OG tube, orogastric tube, and then we can start feeding. If you are not starting feeding, if baby is hemodynamically not stable, still we should put OG tube, and we should keep it open. What will happen, that gastric contents will come out, and there will be decreased risk of the GER and microaspirations. That will prevent the risk of web. So next point in web prevention bundles is oral hygiene. So we should maintain oral hygiene. We should do oral suctioning. In morning care, we should do oral hygiene for the baby. In pediatric patients, sometimes we do chlorhexidine swabbing for prevention of the web or oral hygiene, but in newborns it is not recommended. In newborns we can do colostrum swabbing. So colostrum swabbing in some studies showed decreased risk of web. So these are the points about web prevention bundles. Now coming to the what are the risk factors, which are the babies, who are the babies so at higher risk of the web. So first is prematurity, low birth weight, prolonged ventilation, total parenteral nutrition, frequent suctioning, and IUGR babies. These are the babies who are at high risk of the web. So this was about complete information about the web and web prevention bundles. Thank you so much.